To the Corps of Cadets, you all look outstanding today. Great job in formation and just a great job thus far in the first 6 weeks of school of bringing the Rooks up to speed. For the parents, we really want to thank you for being here today. I know that these young men have been without their parents in many cases for the first time, and I also recognize that this is probably the first time you've been without them. So it's a mutual situation, and we hope you truly enjoy the day. Without any further ado, I'd like to take this opportunity. It's my pleasure to present to you an esteemed Fishburne Military School graduate, James Dillon, class of 1989. Excuse me, James Gladhill, 1989. I got Dylan.
Captain Black, faculty and staff, parents, Corps of Cadets, and my alumni brothers, I can't express how humbled I am standing at this podium. When Captain Black called me to ask if I was interested in speaking at Parents Military Weekend, I paused to think of all the amazing people that have stood here to address the Corps of Cadets. Teachers like Colonel Young, Chief, Private Jamie McIver, and of course, the great Miss Johnson. There have been my mentors and fellow alumni brothers like Gary Morrison, John Tooney, Bibby LeClaire, and Ted Maroney. Then there was the time Cadet Captain Clifford Keith Mangum escorted his mother across the field for the Mother's Day review. I stand here humbled and honored. I'd like to start by addressing the Corps of Cadets, as I once stood there in your shoes on this very field. I know what you're thinking, and I promise to keep this short if you promise not to pass out during my speech. I recall my senior year during one of the formations, we had 18 cadets go down. After the formation, they tried to blame the heat, but it was 75 degrees, and there was a cool mountain breeze flowing over the field. Naturally, in the barracks, the truth came out, and they blamed it on the long-winded, boring speaker. I promise not to be that guy. Now to the parents. I was going to start with stories about my time in the barracks as a cadet. I quickly realized those stories are wildly inappropriate and not suitable for such an occasion. So instead, I'll be telling those stories at the hotel bar later tonight. But seriously, I want to tell you a story of 5 cadets that came to Fishburne at different times for very different reasons. Roughly 60 years ago, my Aunt Joan was tasked to find a suitable military school for her baby brother. She found and settled on this little school on the hill. My father came to Fishburne for his 10th grade year. He met my beautiful mother across the railroad tracks when she was a student at Fairfax Hall. He graduated in 1961 as the battalion executive officer. Now fast forward 12 years, and my uncle, my mother's brother, asked to come to Fishburne. He too met his wife at Fairfax Hall and graduated in 1973. Fast forward another 12 years to 1985. I was having some trouble at home. I found myself running with the wrong crowds. My mom and dad, after making every attempt to steer me in the right direction and realizing I needed more than they could provide, decided to send me to Fishburne as well. I graduated with the greatest class that ever marched through the archway as First Lieutenant, Platoon Leader, Alpha Company, 1989. We were loud and proud. Fast forward 19 years, and my cousin came to Fishburne and graduated in 2008. Now I can tell you stories of our experiences here at Fishburne. They all have common themes as we benefited from Fishburne's core competencies. You would hear things like about the small class size, individual attention, commitment to learning, and the diverse population. But it's the fifth cadet I really want you to hear about. That is because I learned more about Fishburne had to offer through my son's experience than I did my own. As a father, you do the best you can to set an example for your son that he might be proud of. You teach, and hopefully you inspire, and if you're fortunate like I am, it ends up coming full circle, and you end up being taught and inspired by your son. This day 2 years ago was a turning point for my family. It was the first time since enrolling my son that my wife Terry would speak to me. As many of you now understand, dropping your son off at the front parapet can be a strain on even on the best of marriages. But we made it, baby. But on this day, there was success in the air. Our boy was proud, and he stood accomplished. It was a victorious day as he completed his RAT season and was now being referred to as an old man and promoted to private. The rest of the year was surreal. He was later promoted to color guard, marched in the presidential inauguration, and made distinguished honor roll throughout the year. We were setting up for the perfect junior year. But such is life. Nothing goes exactly to plan. After training detail of his junior year, he did not get the position he wanted. He called home and we could hear the discouraged and he was down. Of course, being the protective parents we are, Terry and I felt like we needed to reach out to the school and tell them of their mistake. I called Miss Johnson and I told her of the situation. She said, "Jimmy, do you trust me?" I said, "Miss J, I love you. Of course I trust you." She said, "Do you trust Fishburne?" I paused and I replied, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "You take care of Terry. Fishburne will take care of your boy." She then proceeded to hang up on me. That poor woman had to deal with me for 30 years. We didn't know what would come next. Would he give up or would he get up? The following couple of weeks were nothing short of inspirational. He was immediately awarded the Cadet of the Month. The award was published in our hometown newspaper. He improved his GPA to 4.0 to 4.2 and was selected to the National Honor Society. He made the Honor Guard, Honor Council. The year just kept getting better. Our boy got knocked on his butt, but he got back up. He eventually got the position he was looking for, and today, First Lieutenant Dylan James Gladhill stands proudly before us as Charlie Company Commander. You see, at Fishburne, you'll never lose. You will either win or you will learn. Let me repeat that. At Fishburne, you will never lose. You will either win or you will learn. Now, I've always loved the quote, "Life begins at the end of your comfort zone," mainly because it reinforces the message that regardless of how inconvenient it may seem, change has the potential to result in something truly wonderful. Fishburne has pushed Dylan many times out of his comfort zone. Each of these boys standing on this field have been pushed out of their comfort zone by leaving home and the public school system. They are all better young men because of it. Excuse me. Now I'd like to close with some advice for the Corps of Cadets and then something for the parents. To the cadets, on Monday night, I watched Drew Brees break the NFL's all-time passing record, and he did it by throwing a 68-yard touchdown pass. But that's not what caught my attention. What grabbed me was what he did next. He walked to the sideline, hugged his children, and said, "You can accomplish anything in life you are willing to work for. Nothing is given, everything is earned." Think about that for a second. What if you got up every morning and while brushing your teeth, you looked in the mirror and said, "You can accomplish anything in life you're willing to work for. Nothing is given, everything is earned." These are the type of lessons Fishburne is installing in you young men. I'm living proof of just that. Fishburne has taught you and will continue to teach you many things, but respect will be among the greatest gifts from the school. Respect for each other, respect for everyone you encounter in life, no matter their gender, no matter their race or culture. Your ability to respect others will make a difference in this world. Now, throughout my speech, you've heard me reference my brothers. Something you can't see or appreciate right now is the Fishburne Brotherhood. Not a day goes by where I don't talk, text, or thanks to social media, interact with one of my brothers. Last night, after dinner, I went to rehearse my speech, but I couldn't find it anywhere. I, of course, retraced my steps. Terry tore apart the room and the car. It was nowhere to be found. As I was pacing the hotel lobby, I ran into Jamie, one of my brothers from the class of 1989. I told him of the situation. He said, "Let's go redo this." We walked to the hotel business center. He sat in silence and support for 2 hours until 2:30 this morning as I rewrote. I woke this morning and realized I didn't come to Fishburne and make friends. I was bonding with my brothers. It is vitally important that the Brotherhood sticks together and gives back to Fishburne. The longevity, health, and future of the school depends on it. So in the great words of the late Rodney Dangerfield, watch out for number one, but don't step in number two. To the parents, unlike my situation, it was Dylan's choice to come to Fishburne. At the end of each summer, we would ask if he wanted to learn, knowing, regardless of his response, we would support him in his decision. Without hesitation, each time he said yes. For a long time, I wasn't sure what Dylan's motivation for coming to Fishburne was. He was not a problem at home, he got good grades, and has many friends. During his junior year, we picked him up for Thanksgiving leave. On the way home, he shared with us that he wanted to attend a more prestigious college and feels that Fishburne gives him the opportunity. But I often wonder if he just wanted to outrank his old man. You're almost there. Let me close by saying my family is living proof that Fishburne Military School was a maker of good men and a creator of leaders. You have given your sons the gift of Fishburne. Keep them on this journey because they're going to continue to make you proud. I promise. To the parents, Fishburne, and the Corps, thank you. This truly has been one of the greatest honors of my life.